Hello everyone and welcome to this uke guide review of the Aklot bamboo tenor ukulele. I received this more than a week ago and I played it for a week at school. I had the chance to get a lot of feedback just in my own playing, but also from my students who are elementary students, and they were very interested in it. This is kind of an interesting instrument. Again, because it's made of strips of bamboo that are glued together, giving it that really cool pattern. If I get in the light the right way, you can kind of see how cool it looks with the little eye holes and all. And it's idea because, again, it's a renewable resource versus wood that takes so long to grow. They can grow bamboo for harvesting in a very short amount of time. So Aklot had these. They sent out a few for people to review. I was interested in it, but didn't want to pay the full amount. Rich Davis, whose YouTube channel was recently hacked. Hopefully, if this video stays up, Rich gets his channel back at some time. He's back on another channel right now. But yeah, Rich for sure got one of these and was talking about it, but then later mentioned that they were on sale at the time on eBay. They're no longer on sale for that price, for about $78. And I contacted the company and I made a bid for $50 for the instrument, and it was not accepted, but we communicated back and forth. I let them know that I was interested in getting one mainly to review it, and we came to settle on a price of $68, which I think is actually still a loss for the company in terms of the value of the instrument. So that is how I got a hold of this. It was not sent to me free for review. I paid something for it, but I didn't pay as much as it's going for. I think up to about $120 on Amazon right now. So let's take a look at the instrument. If you are interested, on my website, ukestuff.info, or you can go to ukeguide.info, I put a collection of my thoughts on a single one-page document that covers both subjective and objective issues with the ukulele, and that's how I do these reviews. I'm sort of following the guide. So if you take a look at what I'm talking about, first I go through the subjective things, talk about the objective issues, and then I kind of come to a summary rating of what I think of the instrument. So let's talk about the Aklot bamboo tenor ukulele, which actual number is AKBT 26 meaning a 26-inch ukulele. So first of all, the cost at $120 puts you right in line with the next step up of Kala and Ohana ukuleles. So we're beyond just an entry-level ukulele now into the next level, but not yet into the further next level. So it basically, you kind of have like a $50 to $75 range, and then from 75 to about 130, 140, and then 150 to about 250 is the next range of instruments. So this puts you into beyond a traditional starter ukulele. Also the size as well, as it's only available in tenor right now. I hope that changes, and I'll come back to that later. So for $120, it's not overly expensive, but it also isn't a throwaway instrument either anymore. Now, I think the value is good. I think the value exceeds the price, partially because of the improved accessories that come with it over the Aklot AKC, their solid top mahogany instrument, which I've reviewed in the past, but not under a uke guide because I gave mine away, that I was sent for review. That one I was sent for review, and I gave that one away to my niece. But that Aklot came with a strap that was like one of those neck hangers with a clip. I don't like those, especially when you have strap buttons that are sent on a ukulele. Why have a neck hanger that goes into the sound hole? Well, Aklot now includes their sort of checkered flag. My elementary kids really like that. They thought it looked like race cars, and they're right, because that's the checkered flag, with the double ends for a strap button. So this is a great improvement. You can buy a strap like this generally anywhere from $12 to $30 depending on how customized it is. So the real catch though is that a lot of these straps, if you just buy a guitar strap, you're dealing with a a 3-inch strap, whereas this is actually just a 1-inch strap, and for me it's my preferred style. So I really like that strap. I wish they would include these with the Aklots. The one thing I would actually suggest, and I don't have this written anywhere else, is why not make a strap that says Aklot on it? We'll come back to this, but they thought at the time that they needed to put designed by Aklot on the instrument right here. You know what? Nobody necessarily wants that, but people would not necessarily be opposed to having a strap that said Aklot on it. I mean, that's where you could get your advertising value out of that too. So you get function and advertising, make it look nice. So that's just an idea with the strap. And then the other thing that they include is a much, much, much improved case. And I've seen some of the major ukulele reviewers that complain about people that talk about cases, but this one is really a nice case. A gray that might be considered traditionally a little more masculine, but that doesn't mean that anyone can't use it. But that, I like that color. That appeals to me. In fact, some of the bags that I've bought that I travel with stuff to school are this color, so I like that. A tasteful Aklot on the front, and a lot of neat things with this case. This case alone would normally probably sell between $30 and $40 on Amazon. So that's a good part of the package that you're getting, and it's a nice thick case. Now again, it's not a cushioned semi-hard case. It's not a hard case, but it really is a nice gig bag. I don't think you'll actually find many better in the market. There is one suggestion I'll make with this later, but I'll give you a hint. It's right here. But otherwise, I really, really like that bag. And then they also throw some picks in there, which I still don't understand. If you're going to throw picks into a ukulele, make them leather, or make them felt. Don't include guitar picks, because generally we just don't use those. So it's a great value with those three things together. Let's keep talking. The build quality is very, very good. If you look on the inside, the kerfing on the inside of the instrument that holds the top and the sides together, you can see a slight amount of glue just glimmering when you shine a light in there. It's not a big deal. Aklot, as far as I can tell, which again is really Kamice or Camise ukuleles, it's another sub brand of theirs. Overall, their stuff is good. The quality control is excellent. There are no sharp fret edges here. There are no problems with the soundboard or the sides. There are a couple places on the neck. There's one right here. There's one other one where I feel a rough patch. Yeah, there's another one. So there's a couple on here that aren't really visible to the eye so much as you can just feel them when you're playing. That's the only real negative on this instrument, and it's a really minor negative. I've put bigger dinks into a neck than that. I unfortunately marred up my Romero's Creation when I was drilling actually a strap button on it, and gouged a little bit, and that's far, 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 far worse than these problems. So it's not a reason to reject it. It's just I have to acknowledge it's there, but otherwise it's darn near perfect. So the build quality is really good. A couple of thoughts that I had for you was you might want to take a photo of the headstock if you buy one of these, so you know what it should look like when you wind it. If you notice, they put the outside strings, they come up on the ends, and the inside strings come up on the inside, and that's something that you may want to consider when you restring it. And side note, that's something I cannot wait to do. This ukulele, we'll get to sound in a couple seconds, has a great sound, but I can't wait to hear it with fluorocarbon strings, which is what I generally prefer. I think it's going to really make this thing pop and be even better than it is. Again, nothing wrong with the Aquila strings it comes with. I just like fluorocarbon, or maybe I even might put sugar strings, which is another product by Aquila here. All right, so let's talk about the one thing with the bag. Okay, so since we're talking about build quality, I love this hanger. I wish that all ukulele bags came with it. When you travel with one, it's just so useful in so many ways, including if you have to go to the bathroom, you can just hang it on the hook, in a restroom. But just hanging it at school, putting up a hook on the wall, this is really a great way to store it. I love that. The straps are great. The pocket is not a part of the bag itself. It's on the outside and it's rather large. The one negative that I have is the handle is unbalanced. And one of the things we'll talk about with this ukulele is it is heavy. It's heavier than your average ukulele. Maybe not a lot, but you feel it. The case is heavy, and the case is weighted to the ground or to the bottom. So I noticed this one day when I was walking to school. You're holding the ukulele up here. There's a lot of weight down there. So here's my one gripe about the case. The handle should be attached at a point where it balances the ukulele with or without it in it, because ideally maybe even a little further back when you're holding that heavy body. But right now, even with not a ukulele in it, it is dipping that way. So that's my one negative of the case, is the unbalanced location of the handle. I know that sounds super nitpicky. When you're carrying it around, you do feel it. So the appearance, this is wonderful. It's a beautiful ukulele with a couple of problems, and they're not really problems, it's just design choices, and I'm hoping that they change this in the future. Rich Davis talked about this design by Aklot, as have other people. Jody on Girl Meets Uke and a number of other people have talked about it. Aklot has said that they're going to get rid of that in the future. Perfect. Again, put it on the strap. But what I will say is it's not as bad in person. This part over here is really dark, but the rest of it's really light. So it's not as bad in person as it can be when you're looking at it on camera and you're getting those shadows with it. So it is kind of a little deceptive there. Other thoughts. Why not make all the dots on the front? Why not make the saddle and the nut? Why not make the side markers dark instead of light? Because they get lost. You've already got dark screws on the soundboard. I'm not a fan of that, but maybe they tried this enough and realized that they needed to screw in the bridge to keep it there. I'll just trust them on that. And then, if you've got everything else black or gold, then I think Jody, Girl Meets Uke, mentioned, why not make these gold or make them black? I don't care either way. And I may actually still swap those guys out and change those to black buttons. I think black would probably look best with that. Nothing we can do about these markers, but if they were black, that would be kind of nice as well. So also one other nice touch, if you can see the label in there, that's not a paper label, that's a wood label, and that's a nice touch. It's a little hard to read what the model number is, but I like the idea of using wood for that. That's pretty cool. So the appearance is great. It's attractive wood. I like it. I like how it looks. A couple of those minor changes would just make it perfect. You can order these immediately right now. They're readily available. As for playability, it's good. It's good. I don't want to say that it's not good, but my one complaint is that it has a 35 millimeter nut. We'll come back to that when we talk about specifics later. But that nut is only 35 millimeters, and it makes playing it a little more narrow than it needs to. So I really wish Aklot would have built an 38 millimeter neck for this, especially if it's more expensive and it's their flagship. A little bit wider nut would have been nice. So that is the one thing that makes it a little tighter to play than it needs to be, and I wish they could change that. Also, their Aklot AKC23 has a rounded comfort edge that you go, I don't know if that's really a thing. But when you play it and then you feel the ukuleles that don't have it, which is most of them, you feel this sharp edge. I don't know why they didn't bring that comfort edge to the bamboo. So my other suggestion to them would be, please bring that super comfort edge onto this instrument as well. That's a great feature of your other ukulele. Do it here as well. Now, sound quality. With these strings, you listen to it and it's not laminate. It has good sustain, but not super sustain. It's clearly not mahogany. It's clearly not koa. It's not spruce. It's not cedar. It's its own sound. But what I do hear is that there is a third up here that just pops out. And when I'm playing that C chord, that note is not being played by me. In the harmonic sequence and the way that this instrument reacts, that harmonic is really popping out. And I only get that in my finest ukuleles, which are generally my koalohas, where I get these harmonics popping out above and beyond what I'm playing. And this instrument has that. So again, I'm really interested to see what's going to change. So it's a real interesting tone. I think it's a good tone. It's loud. It's not soft. It's more bright than dark. Pretty balanced, actually, in terms of those aspects. And again, I'm excited to hear other strings. So let's talk about the specifics of the instrument, and then I'll get to finally my final thoughts. Tenor instrument, the measured scale length is 16.875 inches for the tenor scale, with 18 total frets, with side marker dots that are almost impossible to see. So it's almost as if they don't exist. So again, dark side marker dots would have been great. The body style is your traditional double bout. The soundboard and everything on this ukulele is bamboo. And it's not laminate bamboo, it's strips of bamboo glued together. So I don't know how you classify that when you're dealing with strips of wood that are glued together and many strips versus, for example, a traditional Hawaiian ukulele, which is made out of one or two pieces of wood glued together. It's the same thought, but there's many strips here. I haven't even counted through to see how many strips make the face of the instrument. And that's true of the back and sides. It's true of the neck is bamboo. It's, you've got your slotted headstock with that. Everything is bamboo. Your bridge is a tie bar bridge, also made of bamboo. So it has a flat fretboard. It is not radius, which is not uncommon. There's only 3 or 4 main manufacturers that'll even give you that option of a radius fretboard. The nut and saddle appear to be, I don't know what material they're made out of. They're made out of, looks like 2 different materials. So this one may be a bone, this one may be a plastic. The actual saddle itself is compensated, meaning that your thicker strings have a little more space to vibrate and your thinner strings have less. I mean, we're talking a fraction of, or a millimeter at most when you're changing the angle on that compensated saddle. It's a satin finish, not a gloss finish, although it certainly reflects the light in the ring light that I'm using. Overall length is 26.75 inches from the top of the headstock to the bottom of the instrument, not counting the strap button there. 1 pound, 6.3 ounces, so it's one of the heavier ukuleles that I own, and so that's kind of the heaviness combined with a heavy bag really makes that unbalanced issue feel that way. Rear facing slotted head tuners, they work really nicely. I mean, really nice control. They're not Grover, but they feel extremely good. Very quality action. Wrong word when there's actually action on a ukulele. But the actual interaction with these knobs is very fluid, very positive, very smooth. It's a high quality tuners that they're using on the instrument. Now, one of the things that I found with Aklot, which makes me willing to recognize them and to suggest them to people, not only is the fact that you can get a solid top ukulele with a decent sound, especially if you change the strings, the AKC 23, but also everyone I've played comes set up to what I would want. I appreciate just the general setup. I don't need my strings extra high or extra low. I just like it kind of in the middle. So generally what that means is action at about 0.5 millimeters at the first fret, which is exactly where this one's at, and then action at the 12th fret, anywhere between basically 2.3 and 2.75 millimeters. And this one's right at 2.5 millimeters. I'll take that every day of the week. So its action is perfect for me. The nut width is a narrow 34.80 millimeters, 35 millimeters. And that's really the only true functional piece that I wish they would have changed with the instrument. A little wider nut with a little wider neck on the tenor would have been great. The space at the first fret then makes this equivalent of some of the sopranos that I've been using lately. 8.47 millimeters between the strings, 28.85 or 29 millimeters from G to A. And the depth at the third fret is 21.91 millimeters, so almost 22 millimeters, which is pretty common for your standard C-shaped ukulele neck. Maybe even a little narrower than some instruments, which helps a little bit with the narrow width of that nut. But I would like the 1.5 inch or the 38 millimeter nut up here. So good accessories. I love the upgraded accessories. I think the instrument, it looks great. It sounds good. It's easy to play. I really, really like this instrument. Now, what I'm curious about is how it handles a Midwestern winter. As I film this, it's now October of 2019, and our winter weather is right around the corner in this part of the world where I live. And in fact, I still remember back to I believe it was 1991, when we were putting on a musical while I was in college, and we had to cancel the musical because of a 36-inch blizzard that hit Minnesota where I was going to college. So any day now, our houses are going to turn on the heat, and I'm going to need to start humidifying all my ukuleles. I'm interested how the bamboo holds out in this winter climate. I will humidify this. I'm not going to put this through the stress test of not humidifying it to see what happens, but I will say that the Aklot ukuleles that I gave to students as part of a prize drawing, they have not taken care of their Aklots with a solid top, and they are still in good condition. So that's good to see, but that could be luck of the draw. But I am interested to see how the bamboo holds up over time. So it's great to see a ukulele that's a renewable resource. There's a couple things they could do to tweak this in addition to a couple of the cosmetic things that others have talked about. But it's a great ukulele. And it, by the way, if you go and buy a Kala at this price point, you're going to be dealing with a 35 millimeter nut too. So, so when I complain about that, it's because Aklot could go that much further, because they already do. They do well with fret setup. There are no sharp fret ends here at all. The action is wonderful, what they've done here. So they've already gone so far. Why not just take it that next notch, especially since you're in that next price point? So what would I rate this? I think I would give it a 4.0 rating, which I think is really strong. I would take away some points because, again, it's still not the greatest sound for the money. Another $30 gets you into that Kala the Kala Spruce Top long neck, which I think sounds fantastic for that price. And the other side is, again, just the narrow nut experience. Most people are going to be concerned about the name Aklot because they just don't know it. Aklot is proving that, and Kamis or Kamice is proving that they can put out a really good ukulele for your money. That would be great for a starter or for that next instrument. And if you're a person worried about renewable resources, I don't think you can go wrong with this ukulele. So, 4.0 ukuleles. I again want to thank Aklot for being willing to sell it to me at a discount. And I'll have some fun changing strings here in the very, very near future and just getting a chance to play this more down the road and seeing how it holds up here for the winter. Thanks for watching. Remember, you can find the Uke Guide at ukestuff.info, and we will catch you next time.